guys, welcome back to an OG set for my YouTube channel, and by OG set I mean my house, because my first YouTube video was filmed here, and by first I mean the grilled cheese thing, because we're not really counting the other ones. I thought I'd do something fun today, where I tried out another genre of YouTube, this time booktubing, which is something that I like in theory, but I've never actually really watched the videos of. I mean, I used to watch booktubers, and I'm still subscribed to some of them. I don't know the names, or I would shout them out, but I don't watch them anymore. But I thought it would be fun to do a book tour, except I have a lot of bookshelves. I'm looking at some of them right now. You're not. So I thought I would do a small bookshelf that is in, actually, my closet. Some of this stuff is mine and some of it's my mom's, because we moved and everything got thrown around everywhere. So I thought I would go through some of my books, some of which I have read and some of which I have not. Here's one, The Little Brown Compact Handbook, 4th edition. Haven't read it. See You at Harry's? Haven't read it. I've started it. Growing Up Super Average, I actually have read this one, and I think, this might not be the one that I got signed. One of them signed, guys. Not this one, though. That's embarrassing. Webster's Basic Dictionary, haven't read it, but, I mean, I collect dictionaries. The Tao of Pooh. I do actually intend on reading this one. Not to say that I'm not gonna read every single one of my books. I definitely will read all of my books. Of course I won't read all of my books. That's crazy. Clive Barker, Aberrat. I got it because it looked cool. It does really look cool. There are some illustrations here that just seem fun and exciting. I don't know. I might read it because it looks cool. The Hobbit. I've listened to this book. I do enjoy The Hobbit a lot. Just So Stories, that's my jam from a long, long time ago. I love stories. Just So Stories. I love them. Especially the one about the elephant. I've always liked that one. This one is a little mini dictionary and thesaurus. You can see about the size of my hand. I love it. It's great. It's tiny, and I collect them, and I believe it was 12 cents. The Chosen, I think I have a separate copy of The Chosen. I think I have more than one copy of The Chosen, and one of them oh no, this is my copy of The Chosen. My dad wrote a note in it for graduation. He bought me a bunch of books. We might find some other ones here on this shelf, because they all got thrown together randomly, and I don't fully know what's on each shelf. To Kill a Mockingbird, read it twice. I should read it again. Also, I have read The Chosen. It's a very good book. I believe it made me cry. But so did Avengers Endgame, so you know. Lots of things make me cry. Here's the 8th book of the Anne and Green Gables series. Just gonna say right ahead. Oh wait, I haven't read it. That's not even my book. I was about to show you one that wasn't my book, but I'm not. Almost Home by Joan Bauer. I love Joan Bauer. Here's another. Actually, most of my Joan Bauer books are over here. I've read this one. Joan Bauer, Close to Famous. Read it like twice. It's very good. Nichols' Pocket Bible Encyclopedia. I've looked at it. The Tragedy of... I can't say that name out loud because jinx reasons. Another Joan Bauer. Hope Was Here. Also, I've read this book, The Scottish Play. This play. Hope Was Here. It's good. I like Close to Famous more, and some of her other ones more. That's a good book. I'd read it again. I haven't read Schooled. I believe I started it. Othello is one of the Shakespeare plays I haven't read or watched yet, but I bought it because I intend to. Joan Bauer Sticks. That's one of the few Joan Bauer books I haven't read. Well, of the ones I own. Joan Bauer, Best Foot Forward. I've read this one. Actually, more than once. My family listened to it, and we listened to it not knowing it was a sequel to another book, which I don't think I have on these shelves, but I do know I have somewhere. It's a good... Oh, no, I do have it. It's right here. We'll skip a few. Rules of the Road is the first book, and Best Foot Forward is the sequel, and they're both really good. This book isn't mine. Ordering Your Private World, not mine. This book, Loki's Wolves, is mine. Haven't read it. Started it. Here's 2 more Joan Bauers. Stand Tall. It looks like I really love Joan Bauer, and I do, but they just all got thrown together because they were all together on whatever bookshelf my mom saw. Here's a familiar face, Rick Riordan, who I used to love and I kind of hate now, but this one's Demigods and Magicians. It's actually an anthology of 3 stories, and I've read 2 of them. Live writing. One of my mini books on writing. I've read exactly one of them. One of the books of writing. Okay, Anne of Avonlea. Is this the first one? I've read one of them. I've read the first one. The Sound of Life and Everything. This book looked really good when I picked it up. I think I got it from a bookseller, which is like a little bookstore under my library. Anderson, Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. I haven't read this, and I don't know if I ever will, but I remember that I paid too much money for it. It was like $6 at Half Price Books, and I felt like that was too much money, and I won't get rid of it because I spent too much money on it, in my opinion. Okay, Sammy Keys, Showdown in Sin City. I love Sammy Keys. They're great books. I think this one is my favorite. I've read it at least twice. I just love the mystery that Sammy Keys solves and what it leads up to. I wouldn't recommend reading this one without reading 1 or 2 or all of the other books. I haven't read all of the other books, but they are good books. It's like a teenage mystery type book. Okay, Windy Mass. You'll see that this isn't the only Mass book on the shelf. Jeremy Fink and the Meaning of Life. I own the book, read the book, and own the movie and have watched the movie. They're both good, the movie and the book. The book is better, but the movie is enjoyable and I've seen it way too many times. And then Windy Mass, here's a series. There's actually one more book in the series now that I don't own and haven't read because it just came out while I was at college. But it's called the Twice Upon a Time series, and it includes fairy tales from the perspective of both the princess and the prince. We have Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast, and Rapunzel, and they all have little extra names. Like this one is the one who took a really long nap. This one is the only one who didn't run away. And this one is the one with all the hair. And look, another Windy Mass book. Actually, 2. They're both they're sequels. It's another series, basically. The Candy Makers and the Candy Makers, The Great Chocolate Chase. I can't speak, which is why I shouldn't be a YouTuber. Here's another Windy Mass book, Pie in the Sky. These are all 3 great books. These 2, well, this one's one of my favorites, and this one's a really solid sequel. And this one surprised me because I didn't read it for a long time. And then I just was like, I'll read it. Why not? And it was really, really good. And C.S. Lewis, Letters to Children, haven't read it. Ready Player One, haven't read it, but I've seen the movie, and it's a really good movie, so I should read it. Sorry, a lot of this was out of focus. I did something to my camera. Rump, The True Story of Rumpelstiltskin, haven't read it. The Thurber Carnival, haven't read it, but my dad gave it to me, so I should. The Last Kids on Earth, I've started this one. It's really good. Hatchet, I definitely read a long time ago, and I bought to reread because I thought that would be fun. And I haven't yet. And then here's another Sammy Keys book. This one is the direct sequel to the one right over here that I said was my favorite. And I haven't read it yet, but I should. Okay, down here are 2 Ingrid Law books. I pulled them out because they're great. This is Switch, and this is Savvy, and there's one in the middle that is on another shelf for some reason called Scumble. Scumble is my favorite of the 3. They're all really good. They're about, like, a family who, when the child turns 13, they get a Savvy, which is basically a random superpower. Like the girl in this book. Her power is the ability to read minds if the person has ink on their hands. Like, if you write a phone number on your hand, or draw a smiley face, or have a tattoo. And this girl, her power is to stop time. And the guy in the other book can, he can rearrange materials like this bookshelf. He could reassemble the bookshelf in weird and creative ways, which starts out pretty destructive. Okay, here's Hollow City, the sequel to Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This one I've read. This one I haven't. Oh, these 2, I've read both of them. All Rise for the Honorable Perry T. Cook. Haven't read it. Looks really good. I picked it up from the store beneath my library. Roget Super Thesaurus. I have too many. I'm fine with that. Here's a little note. Prayer journal. Faith, Hope, and Ivy June. I've read it once. It's very good. I should reread it. Don't know when I will. Baptism 101. I bought this book essentially so I could write and counsel on baptism better, and I haven't read it yet. What do I do with a mustard seed? I was given this book when I attended like one lesson of a Bible class at a church I was visiting, and I haven't read it. Another Anne of Green Gable books. I haven't read it. You know that. Write this journal. I've done a small amount. I wrecked the front, clearly. I'll try and find here. Like, this page was stick it together, and I stuck it together with icing. Because I was at a sleepover, and we had icing. And then this one was rip strips, so I did that. And this one, Scribble Wildly. I haven't done much of it, you can see. And I probably won't do much of it. Oh, man. My information was on screen for a bit. I don't know how much of my information. Oh, I guess I was supposed to write something. I don't know what I wrote, though. Oh! I seen stain. Page's knife. I guess that's what I wrote. Then I have some wonderful books. The Lost Hero and Son of Neptune. And Son of Neptune, the original, these are graphic novels, which I haven't read, but the original is one of the prettiest book covers I've ever seen. And this one is good, too. Not as good, but still pretty. And the character designs I actually like a lot. I'm gonna try and find a good one of Frank, because I love Frank. Oh, look at Frank and Hazel! They're my OTP, and then Percy's in the corner. And then, I don't love the designs as much for the trio in this, but I got used to it. I mean, Leo looks okay. And then Jason looks about as good as you'd want him to. And then Piper is also okay. But they kind of killed it with Son of Neptune. Which I think is also true of the real designs, which aren't even the real designs anymore. Okay, here's my last 2 books on these bookshelves. Kindred, I have read it. I read it for class. It's a good book. And then A Mango-Shaped Space. I've also read this one. I've read it once or twice, maybe 3 times. Up to 3 times. It's also a good book. That's been my Booktuber book tour. I won't make another one because my other shelves are bigger and it'll take too long. But I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you enjoy reading. Bye!